Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to my channel. I'm Real King, and this is it, y'all. Alright? What's going on, people? Welcome back. Sunday afternoon. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into this video. First of all, how y'all doing? How y'all weekend been? My weekend's been pretty good. Ain't did too much today, or the whole weekend. Well, especially today because usually on Saturdays, like I said, I have my Shabbat. So I'm doing my studying, fellowship, and spending time with the Most High, Bible studying, everything like that. I got my classes in the morning, so I'm doing that on Saturday, relaxing, resting, because it's a day of rest, the Shabbat. So I'm not doing much on Saturday and things like that. So. And I didn't do anything at all at any point. So that was good for me to just be able to relax, a whole full day of relaxing. And then today, normally I would have went out today to do something, but I figured, nah, I don't want to. I kind of want to just stay in, because I mean, when you're gone all doggone week, out and about, like you need 2 days to kind of, to relax. And plus, with my bike coming next week, I really wanted to kind of just really, chill today. I've actually been watching a lot of YouTube videos on bike customizations and stuff like that, getting myself prepared for when I'm gonna be building my bike. And so yeah, my bad, I completely forgot. I did something late yesterday. So my bike's been squeaking like crazy since it was in a little bit of the rain. That's how weak that bike was, or is. So a little bit of the rain and that bike's squeaking like crazy. I'm not used to a bike that squeaks like that. And so I'm up here trying to figure out where these squeaks are coming from. And it almost seemed like it was coming from the suspension or something like that. So I'm up here trying to figure all this out. So whatever the small area I called myself lubing up on Friday, yeah, that didn't work. I don't even think that was even the right spot that needed it. So I'm up here trying to ride the bike and put it to put some different motions in it to kind of see where the squeak was coming from, and I really couldn't figure it out. I tried, and so I was like getting a little bothered. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just grease up or lube up anything that has any kind of, that seems like it is put together. That's not welded. So that's what I did. And I didn't do it carefully because I didn't know. Well, there was plenty of reasons why. But anyways. So I did that, and I think what I did kind of worked somewhere because I hear less of the squeaks, and so I was doing that, and then I don't know. I think somehow, even though I aired them tires up a week or two ago, and I thought that was enough. I didn't want to over air the tires, but whatever I put in, it didn't seem to be enough because it still seems the back tire is kind of has less air in it, and I noticed that kind of like, I don't know, a few days after I rode it, because it just seems kind of flat in the back. It's kind of, and I'm not heavy, so it's not a matter of that. And plus, it's got suspension. Like that bike can take up to about 270 pounds, it says. So I'm 100 and some odd pounds less than that. So anyways, that's not a big deal. So the good news is, and it may be good news. Well, yeah, it is good news. The good news is, I saw a little kid riding around the neighborhood, which I've seen up in, every weekend I come out, I see this little kid riding his bike. So I was just like, I asked the kid, I'm like, yo, I said, anybody wants to buy this bike? I said, I'm selling it next week. And so he got on the word real quick. So he books it down. Well, he didn't book it, but he's going down the street, across the street, and there's some other kids that live across the way. And apparently he was telling, some kids about that I'm selling the bike. I told him about $50, $60 because that's what I was trying to get for it. I don't even think I was going to get that from the pawn shop, to be honest. They really undercut you, even though I paid a buck 48 for it. And I was honest to him. I didn't tell him about the taxes. I didn't matter. And so I think they probably only gave me 30. So I said 50 or 60. 50 is cool. I stayed at 50 because it's not a big deal. Plus it's kids. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind helping out some kids, And so, yeah. So it looks like that bike is going to get sold next week. Good deal, because if I would have taken it to the pawn shop, then that means I would have probably had to pay to take a lift back home. And I didn't want to have to do that, but that's what I was thinking about doing. So the good thing is I can build this bike and then I don't have to go anywhere to sell it. Because like I told the kids, is I'm just gonna, once I'm done building my bike, then, it's ready to be sold. So, and it's in good condition. There ain't really nothing wrong with it, for having it for a month. I wasn't trying to beat it up or anything like that. Also, I take care of my things no matter how cheap they are or whatever. So it's in good condition. And so I think $50 for that bike. And the crazy thing is, guys, so many people have that bike, that exact color bike and all of that, because, and I don't know if it comes in another color. It's a Walmart bike and it's really cheap and it's really cool. And so I remember I was going somewhere the other day in the parking lot. Yeah. Last week I was going somewhere, and in the parking lot, as I get off the bus and I'm running through this parking lot, and I see one that's like old and like messy looking, and it's chained to this post. And I was like, it's the exact same bike, color and all. I'm like, dang. But I be seeing my bike, and then I was getting off the bus one time a couple weeks ago, and somebody else had a bike just like mine. I'm like, jeez. So I'll be very happy to get rid of that. And I doubt that I will see anybody with the kind of bike that I'm getting. So that's a good thing. But I will be modifying it because it's stock bike, stock color. And that's what apparently that you do. You do customize your bike, making it a one-on-one. So that's what I will end up doing eventually, as I've already told y'all. So that was good to know that I can basically get that bike sold next week. So that's going to be a big plus for me. So that's basically what I did yesterday. And then I'm wearing my hair out, showing the gray because I don't give a dang. I went ahead and moisturized and massaged my hair, my scalp, because it needed it. Because I just washed it about a week ago, and I hadn't moisturized my hair, so I went ahead and did that because it needed to be done. And then that was about it for yesterday. Today, like I said, I didn't go out and do anything. I wanted to relax this entire day on purpose. Did some laundry, got that up out the way, got my chores out. I read some scriptures in the Bible, and then I did some exercise on my knee because I needed it. I was using my knee brace to do some of those exercises, so that was a good deal, because there were certain exercises I didn't do before because I was a little hesitant on the movements that I needed to do without the brace. And so with the stabilizers that this brace has on the side, it was able to make sure that my knee was not going to be in any kind of jeopardizing kind of situation. So that was good. So I did some exercises, and then that's really about it. So I don't have anything really planned for the rest of the day. I'll probably relax and I'll play some video games, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I did get into some kind of conversations with some people online, chatting, commenting about LeBron, I call him LeBozo Lames, and Michael Jordan debate, and then of course, the Kobe debate and stuff like that. So that was kind of interesting. I don't really like getting into that kind of childish stuff, you know what I'm saying? But every now and then I just kind of get annoyed by comments that I read and, come up across and stuff like that. So that's whatever. But I wanted to kind of real quick talk about, why I'm choosing to go to Brazil, in case anybody might know. So I think I touched up on this before in a video, but my channel was kind of really based around that, and so I'm choosing to go to Brazil for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is, there's a lot of them. The main reason is, I'm going to say cost. I'm going to say a change in scenery. Cost. Well, here in America, it's too expensive for everything. Overpriced for everything. Everything cost, and it's too much. And there's actually a lot of Americans that are choosing to dip from here to go to a lot of other countries, because of that reason. Healthcare is too expensive. I need work done on my teeth, but I can't get it done because the money, it costs so much to get stuff done. It's crazy. Medical benefits, just to see a chiropractor and to get, to do my physical therapy, $40 a pop each time. That's a lot of money. If I need to go each week, that's $40 each week, and it's like, dang, it's crazy for that. So just getting your basic needs met here in America is just too expensive. So when you know about other places that have just as good, if not better, healthcare systems, but for dirt cheap, that's one big reason. Okay, food. Of course, America food, everything is processed, everything is too expensive, and it's just garbage. It's just garbage. When you know about places like Brazil who do specialize, they eat really healthy. There's a lot of foods that they don't eat. And their common stuff, the common food that they eat, is just really healthy. And so for a person like myself who's like, I like to be healthy, that intrigues me. I live in one of the fattest states in the world, or in the country. Houston's considered the fattest city in America, I believe. It's always been that way. It's been that way for a long time anyways. So, when you think about it, we eat a lot of gross food here, and so that kind of thing is something that I'm just trying to get away from. Because besides, I've already changed up my eating habits anyway, so that's kind of it goes along with that. I'm gonna say Western women are also a big problem. You got the Western women are very masculine, very dominant and independent, which is unattractive to me. And it's just, I don't choose to go that route. I don't choose to have to fight and not physically fight, but have to wrestle around with, and compete with women, with other guys, to get these women, and just a masculine woman is just so unattractive to me. A woman that just talks all crazy, but that's the way the Western women are, and that's because of, whether y'all want to believe in it or not, it's because of the Willie Lynch and that whole system. And so that was more of an American ordeal versus, rather than the rest of the world. So Brazil, the women there are very, very different. The women are very feminine, and that's something that's been in them they're raised like that, and they prefer that way. And so taking care of a man is very important to them, which is something that's unheard of here in America. We don't get that from the women here. And so why try to find a needle in a haystack when you could be right there in the haystack? So better women for us men, respectable women, who will do the small things that the Western women don't do here in America, which is a big deal. Cook for you, give you a massage. That's what they do. That's what they do. You ain't gotta ask for that. That's what they do. come home from work, they already have your food cooked for you. Come on now, like what? The scenery. I love nature. I love animals. You got that stuff all over the place. Clean air, stuff to do, beaches, all that kind of stuff. That's what you don't have here. You know, laid back living and lifestyle. You don't have that here. And of course, the American dollar is like 4-1. Come on, you don't got to be a math genius to figure this out. So those are the things: culture, music, and of course, you know, they have the biggest population of my people in the world, straight from, you know, the continent of Africa, not here in America, but in Brazil. So those are just some of the reasons why I'm choosing to go there. It just makes sense to me. And I've been following a lot of YouTubers in the past couple of years that have moved from here to Brazil primarily, and they have all said the same thing, like, look, whatever y'all can do, y'all gotta come here. All right, so how am I going to make this happen? Well, it's real simple. So you need money to travel. Hence why I've been so avid about saving up the money and things like that. So you got to have the money to go to Brazil. Now, understanding the currency conversion does help a lot. So for me, I'm going to come up with a certain amount of money that I want saved up, because I can only get a passport for 3 months at a time. So I can stay there 3 months at a time, but that doesn't mean I can only stay there. I can renew that after 3 months and stay another. You can renew it as much as you need. So saving up the money, getting your passport and visa. Then of course, you should learn the language, and I'm already learning that. A big thing is job. What are you gonna do for employment, for money? So, great question, better answer. The thing that I'm gonna do for work is obviously, I'm gonna be a digital nomad or having my YouTube channel. Those are gonna coincide, because ultimately my YouTube channel is going to be the main focus of my income. But until that happens, I have to have something to fall back on. So I will be doing some kind of work where I'll be probably doing, like, you know, working from home, what a lot of people do. And I'm going to get that started before. And matter of fact, I might even be looking up that stuff tonight. You know, it gives me something to do. And so instead of be looking for some other kind of work, let's go ahead and start doing the job now. Because if I find something, work from home, that I have the freedom of traveling, then that may also help me with my saving the money. Because I might not, because I'll be doing that and saving money, but I might be able to leave sooner because I already have a job. And so that's something that's very key. It's really up to how, I mean, I have the ball in my court, you know. So basically, depending on what I do, how I do it, you know, will determine when I go. But I really do want to go. Now, I have a small setback, obviously, because in between, you know, jobs and stuff like that, but not a big deal. Although I was planning to leave in June, July, that may have to wait until August, September. But I'm going to still go. And that's based off of how much money that I had planned to save up. So I'm going to really do what I can to get this, you know, I have an interview coming up on Wednesday. I already had an interview last Thursday. So we're going to see what's going on. But for the rest of the night, I'm going to be going hard in the paint, you know, applying for jobs, filling out applications and that kind of stuff, you know, getting stuff ready for this next week and everything like that. So, but yeah, I just wanted to make a little video, just kind of, you know, going over the reasons why I'm choosing to go to Brazil instead of certain other places. I mean, you know, there's people that are going to Thailand as well. A lot of people are going to Thailand, Bangkok, China. But, you know, Brazil's a hot place. It's a really hot place. and Colombia is another one of those places also. But I think Brazil would be more or less for me. And so there's a lot of places in Brazil that I can check out, you know. So that is the reason why I am choosing to go to Brazil. I just prefer it. I like the culture. I met a lot of Brazilian people over the past couple of years that I've been talking to and meeting and stuff, or talking to. And so, you know, I really like the culture, you know, the dance, the music, you know, the cuisines, like everything about it is just really something that I am very interested in. So that's kind of why I want to go and stuff like that. And the good thing is, you know, I can, you know, there's bike riding there, trails, I can skateboard because Sao Paulo has a skate park that's really nice and stuff like that. So like, man, you know, like it's a good deal for me. So I'm excited. I'm very excited, and I'm doing some things in my personal to help, you know, get me into the right, you know, mindset, you know, and spiritual place for me to be able to do this and stuff like that. So yeah, this next week is going to be a good week, you guys. So just stay tuned, like I said, because I got the bike coming. I have not gotten a tracking number yet. It'll probably be here tomorrow, so I'm going to be on the lookout for that, so that way I know exactly when the bike will come. Once that happens, then I'll let you guys know about it. And then, you know, like I said, I'm going to be doing that video where I'm going to be putting together the bike, you know, by myself. So that'll be interesting, and it'll be a little exciting for me. So anyways, guys, that's all I have for now, but I really appreciate y'all coming by, stopping by, checking out my video. If you guys like my video or any of my videos, feel free to, you know, make sure that you guys smash that like button. If y'all have any comments or anything like that, you know where to put them. Also, hit the notification bell so that way you guys are notified when I'm dropping my videos. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to my channel so that way, you know what I'm saying, you guys are, you know, get the first content before anybody else, stuff like that. And yeah, I'm Real King, y'all. And this is it. Y'all be cool.